So this project, we're going to be making a platform for a couple of compressors that are going to drive the automatic tool changer, or the ATC, on the shop bot. And plus, I want to do some special features to the platform in the sense of making the compressors a little more vibration friendly because of how I'm going to pipe the air supply. In terms of how the piping is going to run, I want to minimize how much vibration the tools will actually be feeling. So what we're going to do is take a look at what I've got, and we will begin drawing the platform that we're going to make to rest these two compressors on. Let's move on. Next thing is to start piping the front of this, because tomorrow Chris Burns comes to get the ATC installed. It's going to be a matter of just getting CFM to where it has to go. All right, so what I'm going to do here is I'm literally going to try to design a way to put this together right on camera. So I'm going to put a couple of couplers here just because I want to be able to remove this to the ball valve in case I need to. So the principle is I want to be able to operate them together, and I want them to be able to operate independently. So if I want to run glandering on its own, great. If I want them to, or Orchestra and glandering to run together, we're going to do that as well. So I hope that there is a T here somewhere. I could see that we're going to need that. Ah, there is. Look at this. All right, I don't know what we're going to end up needing on this. So here's the topography of what I'm putting together. Let's just screw some things together and see how this starts to look for us with a couple of smaller pieces. And if this works, then I'm going to get the pipe dope out and we're going to set it all up. A couple of T's. Yeah, a couple of T's. I like that. Yeah, that'll work. Great. Now, we're obviously going to go with a ball valve here. We'll go with a ball valve here. And the inside is where we're going to be able to run them together. Got a couple of unions and the T. Just trying to take a look and see if I've got too much chutzpah here. I think it might be okay. Okay. So let's try to work with what we have. Might need those shorter pieces. Ball valve. Ball valve. Oh yeah. You know what? That may not be long. That may not be too long, because I've got to thread all this in. Maybe we'll draw that all back far enough. Oh, you know what though? I only have one of those. How did that happen? All right, so let's get these shorter pieces out of this area. We'll use a longer piece. All right. Yeah, that's right. Okay. It does. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. I don't want to tighten them up too much to have to remove them. See how much we can get this all to go down. That's going to be close. thinking that that's going to work. Then we'll simply run a pipe off of this, and yeah, it's not awful. That has got them connected. So I'm going to stop the video, and I'm just going to pipe dope all this together, let it sit overnight, and we'll make adjustments in real time tomorrow. I'll want the pipe dope to sit up real nice and tight, so let's do that.
If you've not hit subscribe yet, we would very much appreciate if you did, and hopefully you're enjoying this video. Now, let's get back to it.
Okay, so here is the piping that I've done. So the logic is going to be I can run them both together. This valve is open, this valve is open, these two valves are closed. I'm going to run it all together. That's what's going to happen. Now, obviously, if I want to run Orchrist, we're going to close this valve, we're going to open this valve. I'll get just Orchrist. If I want to run them independently, that's great. Close the two inside valves, open up glandering. Here we go. 6 ball valves to accomplish that. I'm sure there's a less complex way, but there you go. We will find out if this hull holds water tomorrow when we fire it up. So what I'm going to do now is put a little bit of wood filler down on some of my blemishes, and that's going to wrap up everything leading up to plugging them in. I obviously need to do a little bit more piping. I'm not sure what the connections will be for the ATC. It's probably 1/4 inch. I don't really know. It's going to involve a trip to a hardware store tomorrow, I'm sure, but we'll pick it up at that time. Okay, so we have the automatic tool changer installed and the new spindle, which I will show you. We've got some really cool bits here. That's a 1/4 inch end mill. We've got a 90-degree V-bit, a T-slotting bit, or a keyhole bit. That's a 3/8 compression, 3/8 chip breaker, 1/2 inch O-flute, 120-degree V-bit, max coated 1/2 inch compression bit, and then a 3/4 end mill. That's going to be used for a ceiling tile project that I'm working on. So it all works really well. What doesn't work really well ultimately is my fittings that I put together. There is a leak. There's a couple of them actually. Without compressed air, the tool's not going to run. It has to have that for the air assist to get the spindle moving vertically. It requires an air assist, which is that cylinder there, to get the 5-horse spindle to move. And it also, of course, requires air to pick up and drop off tools. So while this all looks nice, it dawned on me after later in the day, or the next day, leaking out of the union, leaking out of this ball valve here, a couple of things. I realized my design could have been far better in that rather than have a union here, why not put one here and here, so I could build the H section together, get the center to center correct, and simply connect it to the compressors here without having to try to pinch all of this in together. So that's what I'm about to start. I'm going to disassemble all the pipe. I am going to clean everything, and then I'm going to reassemble everything. I will show you the thread sealant that I used, and I'll show you the thread sealant that I'm going to use. They're not the same. So let's move on and disassemble everything.
If you've not hit subscribe yet, we would very much appreciate if you did, and hopefully you're enjoying this video. Now, let's get back to it.
So what I had used originally was a product called Megalock, which I've never used previously. And I can't say that I really don't believe it's contributed to any of the leaking at all. I think it's just more of a structural piping problem. I'm not going to use this going back. I'm going to go use something that has come up in research that I've done multiple times, Rector Seal. I've used Odie in the past with complete success with water, not with air. So I'm going to go with something more recommended.
and it's True Blue by Rector Seal, so we're going to find out if that's going to work. I'm actually going to use tape on the male threads and the thread sealant on the female half of everything, and we'll see how that all works out. So the first thing is to just simply take everything apart and get it all set up, and then I will return tomorrow and we'll test it all, and hopefully we're going to be in real good shape. The other problem with the pipe sealant, all of it being inside of the pipe, so that's all going to get thoroughly cleaned out. So I'm going to, yeah, that was really loose. I'm going to disassemble everything here and quite frankly, get everything over to the sink and completely dry it all. Yeah, you know what? In all fairness, it didn't leak anywhere where it was tight. I have seen people refer to online of using both tape and pipe dope, so I'm going to adopt that, and we're going to see how that actually turns out. Okay, so I'm going to go over and clean all this stuff, wipe it all off, I should say. We'll start the reassembly process, and we will see how this all works out. If you are enjoying this video, please click thumbs up or like, and also please consider subscribing to our channel. Let's move on to the rest of the video. Okay, so I believe I have the pieces reasonably cleaned and dried as best as possible. Lay the pieces back out here and some semblance of how they may be installed. We've got a couple of unions here, and so what we're going to start with is we'll use a couple of really short pieces, I suppose, to get us started here to connect the unions to. So again, my strategy is going to be that Rector seal and the tape. Hopefully a epic 1-2 punch. True Blue pipe sealant, vibration resistant, contains PTFE, fast dry, flexible set, lead free for plastic and metal pipe. So female applications will get the True Blue. The tape applications, the male applications are going to get this tape. I've actually never used tape. Very similar to what we just were using. I like its consistency better though. We're going to start with this test. I've read that 1 to 2 threads is what you're going to need exposed. This is going to be an experiment, that's to be sure. And that 1 to 2 wraps around is what's necessary as well. Oh yeah, it gets in there pretty well. So, oh yeah, I'd be actually surprised if that doesn't seal really well. So I'm going to go for it with these to the union. that. I will be very surprised if this doesn't lock really nice. Because it just looks like we're making really great contact. So we know, snap. You're kidding me. Yep, you know what I did? Fun. Damn it. Okay. We'll get better at it as we go along. Okay, we won't make that mistake again. Nice and tight. So this is going to mate here. This is then going to lock down in here. Okay, so we've got a reasonable understanding of what's happening here. Now over to this side. We're going to do the same thing over here. So now what we need to do is get an H together, and we need to do so in such a way that's going to line up perfectly. So now it's a matter of what pieces can we use to accomplish that. I would think that I should be able to make that work with getting everything tightened down. But there's only one way to know, right? This rector seal seems to be larger, not thicker, but with less work, you really don't see any of the threads. And I'm assuming that by pushing in, I'm getting penetration into the threads, which, you know, and the reason I'm thinking that is beneficial because I want to leave as much packed in the threads as possible, obviously.
If you are enjoying this video, please click thumbs up or like, and also please consider subscribing to our channel. Let's move on to the rest of the video.
See what I'm doing wrong. I'm winding this in the wrong direction. I'm winding it in the wrong direction. I will have to fix that moving forward.
If you are enjoying this video, please click thumbs up or like, and also please consider subscribing to our channel. Let's move on to the rest of the video. Okay, now we're going to methodically tighten these unions. We'll do a half turn on each. That just comes to an end. I hope that's a good thing. Yeah, that came to an end. That stopped. It's got a little bit of left in it, but not much. That's tight. I don't know. I don't trust unions. I don't have a lot of experience, but to me it's unnatural to hold air. And this one, I mean, I'm prepared to accept a minor amount of leaking, but I don't want to hear a compressor run all day when I'm trying to tool path, because the startup and the shutdown on the tool is no longer just close the software and turn off the controller. There's more to it. Well, let's connect these ball valves so be able to run them both through here or independently is what we'll be able to do. So let's do that. These are the only straights I'm left with, so that's okay. I won't worry about that too terribly much. We'll put the dry stuff on all at once. And hopefully the internet's right about the choice of product. I imagine that it is. And I get the impression that putting on too much of that tape just actually defeats the purpose of what you're trying to accomplish. So again, running both compressors. And what's interesting is only glandering was running. I've got to think about how I want that to be in the sense of, I believe my requirements of air do not exceed, well, they don't with the tool changer, they don't exceed the capacity of one tank. What I've not tested yet is the requirements of running the vortex tube that I have that I'll show you next. That's what I don't know, if running them simultaneously. That was the concern for both of them. So it could be that I'll tailor where this one starts, because it starts maybe at 4 psi sooner than this one. 3 psi, really small. This then works to fill this up. As this is running, that pressure gauge is increasing. It'll never turn on. Oh yeah. Well, we're good right there, bud. We're good. I don't know, baby. We'll see about that. We're gonna see about that. Uh-huh. Get tighter. I don't know, one more time. No, it's too much posse. Hopefully that's not a problem. Really shouldn't be. Well, I'm not going to
subject it to pressure until tomorrow, and then we're going to know. In the meantime, let me show you the initial vortex tube, or what it looks like, since the camera's on and running. So the vortex tube is going to be powered by this hose here that we've got running back through the cradle. It's the green pneumatic hose, all the way through, down, and back here. So what's powering the ATC is right here, obviously. And then the green hose is going to power our vortex tube, which is over here. And that's the point of the two compressors. Here's the vortex tube. I've not even plugged this in, and actually I probably will. I certainly will. And this will just get tossed magnetically. You know, there's the concept. Input's going to come here. There'll be a male here that'll quick connect to it. On-off switch is here. Air coming down from here along with, this is not going to be the final version of what we're dealing with, but it will be not unlike what you see here. And this is going to be from when we're cutting aluminum, is what the thought process was there. Now, after I know whether or not this all works, what's going to happen is this is going to get removed. I'm going to come out with a 1/2 inch, and my plan is to run that up to the ceiling on a vertical run, and coming back down is where I'm going to install the regulator, you know, the filter, the water remover. That's the plan of that. Okay. Keep our fingers crossed. We'll check on this tomorrow. Thank you for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, please click thumbs up, please subscribe, and maybe even send the video to someone that you know. Thank you.